Hello everybody, welcome. So today I actually decided to change the style of my videos just a tiny little bit. I will actually be reacting to Jubilee's What If Teen Boys Were 100% Honest. And I feel like since I was a teenager not so long ago, I'll be able to give a solid opinion on the topic. I'll also be able to relate a lot, of course. And throughout the video, I give a lot of my input, a lot of advice towards the question they ask. Hopefully that helps someone out. And what I want you guys to do in the comments below, I want you guys to respond to all the prompts shown throughout the video, because I generally want to hear your guys' opinions on it. Maybe we can have a discussion. And yeah, working on a Discord right now, hopefully coming out soon. That's it for now, guys. Enjoy the video. Have a good one. So I'm not actually a subscriber of Jubilee. I don't watch them that much. I've seen a couple of their videos, but let's see how this turns out. Don't know what I'm expecting, honestly. I do see, I already read this part, basically the people in the video are anonymous, which is a very good thing for these types of channels, because it brings out, like it says on the title, 100% honest. And that's what we want to hear. We want to hear people's true feelings, not sugar-coated because they don't want to be targeted. They don't want to be, you know, mean tweets at them, towards them. So it's smart, like let people be honest and without the repercussions of it. So that's very smart on them. Let's just start the video.
In an age of call-outs, culture wars, and perfect facades, people can be afraid to express how they really feel. So we brought together 7 strangers, protected their identities, and asked them all 7 burning audience questions. What will be revealed when we take the mask off?
Do you watch?
Okay, the first question, do you watch the P word? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I used to watch it. I actually did it at a very young age, and I wasn't too badly affected by it, but I'm sure it affected me somehow, maybe how I view women. It's not good for the mind. Just like, you know, eating bad food isn't good for your body. You know, there's a study where releasing is actually a good thing. Like your body needs to let go of all that. Do it by yourself. Like don't watch the P word, guys. It's not good. To see their opinion on it.
It's accessible, and because it's accessible and it's there, people use it. I'm one of them.
I think most guys can agree that they have at least at some point watched it, and you know, I mean, it's if you can enjoy it in a healthy way, if you can enjoy masturbating in a healthy way, I think then like by all means go for it. But
yeah, I do watch. God. A lot of my teenage years, I spent a lot of time self-obsessing over it, and to the point where it kind of became an addiction. And it took until very recently to get out of the hole of, you know, paying for. I do watch it, but I don't like that I watch it.
I'm gonna bring everyone else into the conversation.
Because after watching it so much, you know, I'm sure we've all been there where you're on page 5 and like nothing is right. Like you're looking for that right video, but your dopamine, like.
If you watch porn a lot, it says I can't even say the word, desensitizes you to like sex. You watch it so much that there's a point where nothing's enjoyable. That's when it starts becoming a bad thing, and you feel like you have to do crazier things to get that same satisfaction, that same dopamine, and it could be very dangerous. So just, you know, let's not get to that point, and do what I said earlier.
And everything is so messed up at this point that the same thing that would get you off wouldn't get you off anymore, right? I went so deep into it where I'm a straight man, I started watching trans porn because it was just erotic in a different way that I've never seen before. I needed more stimulation.
Because of pornography.
Yes, because of pornography. So I don't think it's just entertainment. It actually affects with your brain and the way you perceive love.
I agree.
A lot of teenagers or teen boys are really educated on the effects of pornography?
No.
Not at all.
Have you ever cried in front of someone else?
Like a lot of this stuff in our modern day age, we don't know, we won't know the effects until like 50 years, 30 years, because there hasn't been enough studies to get an actual claim of it. So, guys, we're the byproduct of a lot of things happening in this modern era, like all this access to entertainment, giving phones to a young age to people. Our lifestyle is changing, everything becoming so easy. Like, we won't know the effects until we've seen it, and it's happened already, and it's scary. So you guys just have to be self-aware and try to develop yourself, try to work on yourself. You know, don't just fall for what's easy, do what's hard. Don't just do what's right, do what you think it's right, and if other people don't follow it, oh well, you know, let them be. And I know that can be very sad and lonely.
I wholeheartedly agree with the statement. I feel like it's easier to open up towards women, which is kind of embarrassing, but like, quite frankly, I feel like they understand emotions more because they really understand the whole crying. I mean, I feel like crying is sort of normal to them, and they see it as like a way to express themselves.
It's interesting that you said that you're more comfortable to cry in front of women. I had a girlfriend and she broke up with me over text. And before that, we were like talking and I cried in front of her and I was being honest, and I thought that's what you're supposed to do. That's what my dad taught me, right? But I guess she interpreted it as being insecure, and she broke up with me, and that really messed me up for a little while because it's like, well, now I know I can't show any kind of insecurity, so I don't like crying in front of women. Like, I'd rather cry in front of some family that I trust.
Yeah, that's a very tough topic. This is how I kind of put it. I wouldn't say it's bad necessarily, depending on the woman you have to cry in front of them. It depends about what's it about, first off, and how often you do it. Like, yes, it's fine. Like, sometimes you get fired from your job, you had something very bad happen to you, and then you can, if she's the right woman, you can go up to her and cry and, like, you know, show your feminine side. But you have to have more of a masculine side than a feminine side, so you're not supposed to cry all the time, you know? Yeah, just do it when it's necessary, and not for small mundane things like, oh, you hit your toe, and then you start crying. Oh, baby, my toe. Oh.
You have access to them.
Because it's not about equal rights. It's about getting what they want, basically. Look, this is your size. Your penis size is one thing you can't control. There's no shame about it, no matter how small it is. Just work as yourself in an individual and things you can change, and you'll be good. You know, understand relationships, how to talk to women, how to meet their needs, stuff like that. Be a good man, be a good husband. You know, not everything is about sex. So yeah, maybe, if anything, I like to look at things positively. It could be you attract the right woman because they're not just there for sex. They're there for you as an individual, which is a lot better. And at the end of the day, yes, it's an hour or less of enjoyment. I don't know how long you guys last, but that's that. You have to be with that person for years. Like, if your aim is to marry someone, I think they would kind of look past it, and I think you guys will find other ways to accommodate that.
Everything that you just said, like, is true, and like, you just need to become confident in your own self by knowing what people really look for. But like, it's hard to get on Netflix and watch Euphoria and think like these are like grown-ass men playing high school people, and you think like, well, that's not what I look like. And then you think about like every person that I have been with or will be with has probably seen this. I think that's really where that anxiety comes from. It's just the fact that other people probably have expectations.
I have a question.
Yeah, not just with Netflix, social media has caused it where a lot of people compare themselves. You know, it used to be like you compare yourself to your neighbor, which was fine, more realistic. Now, top billionaires are on Instagram, or millionaires flexing their status, and it's like fit body, young, smart entrepreneur, and that guy is 0.001% of men, and that's who they could compare themselves to. But that's not the case. What you should aim for more, firstly, I would say get off social media because there's nothing good there. But I would say it's compared to who you were yesterday, and work on that, because a lot of people just look up to these men who are already successful, and what's that gonna help them? Make you feel like shit? No, just work on yourself.
My sexuality.
I have a question, man.
I saw war.
I'm still lost in the fact of what I actually am attracted to, but I guess I am still straight because there aren't women.
Quite frankly, right now I feel happy with my sexuality, and I feel
I'm kind of just answering all these topics myself, kind of been dabbling. But as far as me, sexuality, it's bound to come where one day you question it. The topic comes up a lot. There's a lot of things you see online where like makes you question things. A lot of different opinions, and people try to impose their opinions on you that make you try to like change the way you see things. But of course, especially in the nature now, you will question yourself. But at the end of the day, you kind of know within yourself, and no matter if you have doubts, it's still okay. Like, you're good. Everybody has them. Once you get older, and then you start dating, you'll see that you're good.
there's not wrong to question your sexuality.
And I definitely had moments when I was young, just because like I would see things online, it would kind of mess up with my mental. So now that I'm older, that doesn't really affect me. I know myself, and I know I am straight. And if you're not, well, that's fine. You do you, I'll do me.
In terms of law in America, like, you're free to question whatever you want. You can question your religion.
That's
You
true.
can question your culture. It's just society is the things that constrains those certain things to be what's normal and what's wrong.
I feel like there's such a strong stigma to be straight, like, or a strong like a pushing you into it, that even right now I feel the desire to like explain myself, even though we're anonymous right now. I feel like I've never been with I've only been with like actual like cis women, but like I know this, like, no one is judging me. We're all here to be honest. But it's such a stigma that from the last 18 years of my life.
That is another thing. Very good point he actually stated. And I will keep bringing this up. The way the world is right now, freer countries, I guess, like America, there is a lot more freedoms. And I'm going to put something on the screen with like the pyramid of needs. And basically, once you get to a point where our needs are met, then we start to question everything. And if, let's say, you don't actually really believe in religion and that's not enforced, you kind of stuck at this point where, like, what to believe. You start to question a lot of things. I personally don't believe in Christianity or anything like that. Maybe I will in the future. I'm not close to it. But I believe in a sort of creator, just not one. And it is hard. You know, if you're Christian, you get your values from the Bible, Christian Bibles. But now that you're free of choice, free of thought, you're kind of in this space where, like, it's a journey within itself, and you just have to figure that out. And yeah, I'm going through that myself, questioning everything.
That in this moment right now, I feel embarrassed and ashamed for something that's just what it is.
I'm scared of dying.
That's like a throw off of a question, just a random question. Like, let's see like what the other ones were. Do you watch porn? Have you ever cried? Feminism, anxious, sexuality. Am I scared of dying? Like, dude, how did we get to this point? But let's see what they say, I guess. It's kind of random, but we'll go with it.
Think of it as like, I'm extremely scared of death. I mean, I watched my father die like right before me. It's a scary thing. They just stop breathing. And just the idea of like nothing is just extremely terrifying to me. It's like you don't really know what's going on. Like, are you even thinking? Are you even there? You're just a blip out of just space.
It is terrifying. We don't know. And as a Christian, I want to pretend that, like, I know that there's, heaven and hell, but at the end of the day, I genuinely don't know.
I think I always had the fear as a kid growing up that I'm gonna die and like not fulfill like what I wanted to do here on earth, right? But every time I thought about dying, it was as an old person. But 2 years ago, when I started working as a lifeguard, this lady and her friend came to the pool, and I have the music going and everything. She just starts having a seizure, and luckily, You know, I did everything right, and EMS showed up, and she was safe. But then 2 weeks later, she unfortunately had another seizure while driving, and she died. And that's when I realized life is like, it can happen to anyone at any point. And if I just die and don't do anything with my life, then that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, man. We only have one life. We have to make the most out of it. And not Christian, but I do like the idea of every morning saying things you're grateful for, because you do have to appreciate the moment, but you also have to look forward to the future and want to better yourself in many ways, financially, spiritually, mentally. And yeah, death. In terms of the concept of death, when I was younger till recently, I've thought about death a lot. And of course, I think everyone has. It's just, once someone mentions it, it just throws me off, because you kind of like, it hits you like, oh yeah, we're gonna die. And it's just a crazy thought. I mean, do I know what's gonna happen after? No, nobody knows what's gonna happen after. Is it darkness? Maybe. Is it something else? Heaven, hell? Maybe. We don't know. And like, what were we before we were born? We don't know that. We just existed. So we didn't really know what happens after. I feel like I've been facing a lot more, instead of like, usually when the topic will come up, I'd put it to the side. I'd distract myself. I've been actually facing that thought, and it's helped me kind of get less anxious about it. And that's just a life lesson in general. When you face things, it becomes easier. And just think about it, see it as a fact, and see it as a motivator, and see it as something good. Have fun on this one time ticket, one time express that we have.
I said that I don't fear death because I, unlike you guys, I don't really have an experience, so much hands-on experience with death.
Am I afraid of the fact that I will die someday? No. But I think, you know, obviously the fact that it might come way sooner than you expect is a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
Like, it's the one thing that makes life like special. You know what I mean? It's the one thing I feel like that actually gives meaning to it. Because if you would never die, then you would never do anything. You know, because you would always have more time to do it.
Without death, you can't have life. Like, can you just imagine a future where we live forever? Of course, life will lose its whole meaning. And I personally wouldn't mind living a couple more years, maybe up to 1,000 years, because I'm a little selfish. But living forever, that's scary. I think you live to a certain point so long that you actually would want it to go away.
Do you guys feel like you can actually be your genuine self when you're like talking to a girl or hanging out with a girl?
There's definitely a difference between like talking or opening up to like my friends that are girls versus like a girl that I'm interested in. Like obviously if you're trying to impress a girl, you're gonna be dressed nicely, you're gonna wear some cologne, you're not gonna like fart around her, right? It's like there's a filter thing, but like when it comes to your mom, like your mom's a girl, I wholeheartedly trust my mom. So I'm gonna be myself around the people I trust more.
I guess that's what it is. There's a lot of times I walk away.
Yeah, when it comes to acting differently, I mean, we all act differently towards groups. Like, towards your friends, you act a little differently. With your girl, you act a little differently. And that's just, like, human nature, kind of. I feel like as long as, like, you still have your base values and the base way you act, it's fine. Just don't, like, change yourself too much for, like, a group of person. But, of course, it's like, you're not dating your friend. So, like, you have to treat things differently. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, with talking to a girl I'm really interested in, I'm like, man, I didn't just go up and be me. And then my best friend, right, he used to be my best friend. He's kind of a womanizer, but I see him get so much, like, you know, success. And every time I've gotten success is doing things that he's done, which is just putting on a facade and telling them what they want to hear.
I think it's good to be yourself.
Like he just said before I paused him, it is good to be yourself. What is your guys' ultimate goal? So, with women. So, number one, is your goal just to get her and their parents? then yeah, you can put an act, say whatever they want to hear, and you'll get that. To me, it's not satisfying at all because it's just a couple moments of dopamine and not a lifetime. Or by being your honest self, you get someone who loves you for you, and you don't have to wear this mask. It's very liberating if you don't have to wear a mask and you're just yourself. And like that, you can for sure spend the rest of your life together because you will be comfortable as you.
Because, I mean, you can only put a mask on for so long.
That's true.
To talk to people and realize that I'm not the only one who feels a certain way about things. It's nice, and it's a step in the right direction for me in becoming more comfortable with being open and honest with everybody.
I think just the whole open conversation, like this won't bite me in the end later, or like someone's not gonna listen to this and think, oh, that guy's bad. I have more safety of expressing my honest opinions, and whether those be good opinions or bad opinions, it's a better way to express one's true self without trying to be influenced by what high school is and all the people influencing you in high school, because frankly, high school is just popular culture, what people think is popular.
Thank you so much.
Me personally, in high school, I didn't really fit in. I knew a lot of people, but I didn't feel very well connected to any. And I'll be honest, I did change the way I was towards groups and how I acted. But the path to success, the path to your true self, or the person, your best self, it's gonna come with a lot of loneliness, because I mean, I'm dealing with that right now. Because of course, most people will do what's popular because they want to fit in. And then if you want to do different things, talk about different things, it's just gonna be hard. Everybody else wants to do what's popular, and then you're the one on the side just doing their own thing. And there won't be that many people like you, because that's just the way it is. And everybody wants to feel good and accepted and as part of the community. So you kind of have to deal with that. But once you find a group with your mentality, your values, it can just be 2 or 3, but you guys will be like this. You guys will be a rock. And that's really all you need. You don't really need 100 friends. You don't need the coolest clothes. All that doesn't matter. After high school, none of that matters. If you're in high school right now, it is tough because you're kind of forced into an environment. Like not like me right now, where I can do whatever I want basically and go. You don't want people to change you at all. I always go back to this saying, the 4 people you hang around with is the person you are. I 100% agree with that statement. So that's why I am very careful with who I accept in my life. And if they help me in my life, or they make it worse by, trying to lead me off my path, or like do things I don't want to do. And it could be very simple, like something I don't necessarily agree with, that they do. And think the way they act towards things, it could be very small, but if that's not who you want to be around, that's not who you want to be around, and not much to it, I forgot to use this thing though. I've been looking there, guys, because that's where my recording studio is. I'm just kind of checking if my camera is like not dying on me or something. But yeah, I'll try to look here more next time. It just feels more natural to look around. But yeah, I forgot to switch, because I could switch between these two the whole time, but I don't think it's really necessary. Yeah, a lot of different topics. I honestly really enjoyed the video. I wouldn't mind doing more of these in the future. I feel like I was able to, get my word out there. Maybe one of my tips helps you guys out. Of course, I'm still young, going through things, but I've experienced some things. And even if you're young, I feel like there's always something you can help someone else with. Maybe you have more experience in that, or a different perspective. And there's also the case where like just talking and communicating is good, because it kind of reinstates the values in your head. But yeah, it's always good to have a conversation. the comments. You can go ahead and talk about any of these topics, your opinions on it. Do you guys watch? Have you ever cried in front of someone else? Feminism. What are your guys' views on feminism? Because I told you my points. You guys gotta say yours. Anxious about my. I was like, that one's random. Question about my sexuality. I am scared of dying. Or being your gender yourself around a girl. What do you guys think about what I said? My opinion towards it or theirs? But yeah, interesting video. We'll definitely be making more of these kind of commentary. If any of you guys like my videos, want to have a chat with me about towards anything, I'd always be down to learn something or to help someone else. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, have a good day, stay safe.